The Bundoran Weekly is brought to you by AIB, supporting local businesses in Bundoran. For more, see aib.ie.
Hi everyone, it's Shane Smyth, Bundoran Tourism Officer. It is Friday the 3rd of March 2023 and I'm here with you for the Bundoran Weekly Podcast, episode 222. It is the podcast that talks about everything Bundoran. A little bit later on, I'm going to be joined by Killian O'Kelly, who is organising the Bundoran Bay Swim again later on this year. And it may be a couple of months away, but now is the time to start getting ready and preparing if you're going to take part in that event later on this year. We are here with thanks to aib.ie, supporting local businesses in Bundoran and Ballyshannon, and also we're going to be chatting to Teresa O'Neill in Bundoran Community Centre. She'll be here in our community corner. It is Bundoran 10 weekend, and for the first time in a long time we've had to close entries in the middle of the week this week because we reached complete capacity. Such is the popularity of the event. And thanks to everybody who has registered so far and is taking part in the event this weekend. So the 5k is on tonight at 7:30, and then the 10-mile walk is on at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and the 10-mile run then at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. So there's going to be a little bit of traffic disruption. You can check out our social media channels for the Bundoran 10 there on that, and you'll get all the information on the traffic information which is there on those social media channels. And we do ask for everybody's cooperation, and it's a big event for the town. And also we've got the InterVarsity Surf competition happening in town as well, so plenty of people and plenty of great atmosphere around Bundoran for this weekend. But what are they going to do in the evening time? What is the entertainment going to be like? Well, let me tell you, tonight in the Allingham there's dancing with Andy Fury and Nigel Livingstone. You'll find him in the Coolmore Bar. Pat Gaffney in the Coolmore Bar then tomorrow night, and Kieran Rosny is in the ballroom tomorrow night as well. Kieran Mackery then in the Coolmore Bar on Sunday from 8 until 10 p.m. Moving next door then to the Bird's Nest, and it's Friends there tonight, Andy Fury there tomorrow night, and Sean Corrigan there on Sunday night. True Tones tomorrow night at the Chase and Bull, and the Von Tees there on Sunday night. Sunday evening then it's the Rogie Jazz Club at the Bank Bar, it being the first Sunday of the month. They'll be there, and a lot of great jazz music on Sunday evening at the Bank Bar. Hype tonight at George's Bar, Retro Disco tomorrow night, and as usual at 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon it's their trad session, and all are welcome to attend that and to join in as well. Also this weekend in the Kickin' Donkey next door to George's, they've got the Handmade in Bundoran and Beyond event, and that is happening from 12 to 5 tomorrow and on Sunday, where it's lots of local crafters and people who make things handmade, and they are all going to be on display and selling their wares at the Kickin' Donkey between 12 and 5 p.m. tomorrow and indeed on Sunday. Aaron Wilson tonight in the Phoenix Tavern, Mad Notions tomorrow night, Sean McBride then at 9 o'clock on Sunday night, and Tommy Owens wrapping up things at the Phoenix at 11 o'clock on this coming Sunday night. And they've got a lot of big gigs happening in the next little while. Derek Warfield and the Young Wolf Tones happening there on Easter Sunday night. The Hothouse Flowers on the 22nd of April. The 24th of April then it's Pete and Diesel, Still in Search of Murdo John's Long Gone Long John's Part 2. That's all coming up in the Phoenix. You can check out the details on their social media channels, on their Facebook page, and you'll get all of the information there. John Meehan is at the Railway Bar tomorrow night. Paris open again tomorrow night as usual, and you can find all of the information on our website, discoverbundoran.com/events, where all of the information will be for events and gigs happening this weekend and indeed over the coming weeks and months as well. So do keep an eye on to that, and we are filling that in as we get information on gigs that are happening around town. So do keep checking back to that for all of the latest information. And one other gig that's happening this Sunday night at the Bundoran Community Centre. It is Three for the Road. It's Gino Lupari, Tim Eady and Dermot Byrne, plus support. And it's a big night of traditional music. And the trad band from Ballyshannon going to be joining them as well. They are the latest addition to the lineup there. So that's on this Sunday night at Bundoran Community Centre. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. If you search for Modal Citizens Records, you'll find the information there, or indeed search for Three for the Road. And that's a big night there of traditional music in Bundoran Community Centre this coming Sunday night. In the cinema, it is a weekend of sequels. Scream 6 and Creed 3, both out this weekend. Missed It Monday is going to be I Want to Dance with Somebody. That's the biopic of Whitney Houston, and a really, really great movie that is, if you haven't seen that and if you're a fan of Whitney Houston's music. There's also screenings of On Colleen Kuhn, of course, Oscar nominated, and they will be holding their breath for next weekend. The 12th of March is going to be the Oscar night, and there's going to be a lot of people wanting Colleen Kuhn to win the best foreign language movie in the Oscars this year. There's also a sensory screening of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and that is happening tomorrow morning at 11:45 as well. There's a full schedule on our website, discoverbundoran.com/cinema, or indeed you can find the full schedule and a booking link on eclipsecinemas.com as well. Coming up on this Bundoran Weekly podcast for this Friday the 3rd of March, we'll be telling you more about the St. Patrick's Day celebrations, which are happening on the 17th of March, this day fortnight, and we'll also be joined in the Community Corner by Teresa O'Neill from Bundoran Community Centre. Do stay with us.
The Bundoran Weekly.
I'm Shane Smyth, Bundoran Tourism Officer. It is the Bundoran Weekly Podcast, episode 222 for this Friday the 3rd of March 2023. When I say it's Friday the 3rd of March, that can only mean one thing, that in this day, 2 weeks, it is St. Patrick's Day and St. Patrick's weekend, and a big weekend of celebrations happening here in Bundoran. We're really, really looking forward to it. And we had John O'Connell, who's the parade director, on the podcast last week. You can check that out if you want to find out more details. But discoverbundoran.com/St. Patrick's Day is where you'll find all of the information on everything to do with St. Patrick's Day here in Bundoran. It'll have the gig guide, it'll have all the latest news, and you can find out everything that's happening there. But the parade starts at 3:30 from East End. That is the anchor event for St. Patrick's Day this year, as it is of course every year. 3:30 from the East End right through the main street up to West End, and a lot of interest in it so far. We've been gathering up registrations from various groups and bands and community groups that are taking part and that want to take part on the day. We're welcoming a band from Portugal, from our twin town of Sesimbra in Portugal, through our Duzelage Town Twinning Network, and we've also got plenty of other people joining us as well on the day. But as I say, discoverbundoran.com/St. Patrick's Day is where you'll find all of the information about everything happening for St. Patrick's Day and indeed for St. Patrick's weekend. So we're really looking forward to that, and no doubt we'll have more details on that when we talk to you again next week. Now let us talk about swimming Bundoran Bay. It is happening at the end of July, and if you're thinking about taking part, now is the time to start considering it. Now is the time to start your training and getting geared up for it, because swimming in the outdoors in the sea is no mean feat. And Killian O'Kelly is the organiser of the Bundoran Bay Swim, and I caught up with him during the week. Killian, I've been talking to a number of people who organise events, and pretty much said the same thing to them. It doesn't seem like a year since we've been talking about our event, which is the Bundoran Bay Swim.
No, certainly not.
And it's coming up again on the 30th of July, and we're talking about it now because now is the time for people to kind of get themselves prepared for it and get registering.
Yes, yeah. The Bundoran Bay Swim, not for the faint-hearted, 2.4 kilometres from Tullinstrand to the pier there. It's on the 30th of July at 2:30 in the afternoon it starts. It's a hard swim without being a very hard swim, but it is definitely something you would need to start training for and get, as they say, get the lengths into the arms there and get the kilometres into the arms. You can start doing kind of long sea swimming probably the last week of May, first week in June. So you really only have 2 months actually in the sea that you can do any kind of full, I suppose, distance. Yeah. But you can be in the pool between now and then.
So that's the way to go about it. Get your lengths in the pool, build up your strength. You can even do it in the Trupany pool or the West End pool. Yeah. I mean, look, safety first. If you're swimming in the sea this time of year, the water's actually at its coldest in March. So right now, when we're talking in March, the water's at its coldest, which means that really anything more than 10 minutes, if you're in swimming togs, you're taking a risk, and we don't want people to do that. I know people, getting in the sea dips, as they're called, and people do it every morning, and they jump in the sea for a minute or two, and it's great from a mental health and a well-being point of view. But yeah, you wouldn't want to be in the sea for more than 10 minutes.
this time of year. But the pool's a great option. Let me see, 2.4 kilometres, I'll tell you now, Shane, is exactly 100 lengths.
Is it?
Of a 25 metre pool.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Your listeners can correct me if my math is wrong. I did that on the top of my head.
Perfect. So... And again, it's not something that you kind of decide on the last minute that, I'll go in and do this. I think I'm grand in the pool. I think I'll be grand on the day. You really need to be kind of have your wits about you and have your strength up.
You do. Fitness is definitely one part of it, but also what you should remember about the Bundoran Bay Swim is that it is an open water swim. It's a point-to-point swim, in this case Tullen Strand to the pier. So at certain points in that swim, you're off the Point of Rogie, you're off the peak surf spot, and you're in what I would describe as open water. If you don't have experience of that, I wouldn't do the Bundoran Bay Swim as your first outing on it. That's a confidence thing more than a fitness thing, and definitely you want to have some experience with open water. One good way that people get that is one great way to train for the Bundoran Bay Swim is to swim from the main beach round to the diving boards, or the diving boards back round to the main beach, which lots of people do during the summer. Gives you that feeling of being open water, but actually, because you're swimming around that headland there, you actually
you're close to land all the time.
Yeah, you're only ever 20-30 metres from land. But just pick your day and ask the lifeguards, is it safe on the day?
And of course, you know you're not going to be on your own out there when you're doing it, because you're going to be surrounded by your other competitors, and B, you're going to be surrounded by an awful lot of safety boats and safety craft as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we did a great bunch last year doing the safety cover. Every year we have a great bunch doing it. And first and foremost, this is a community event. As you know, Shane, it's in aid of the Bundoran Community Centre. So we put a shout out in the weeks and months beforehand. We're looking for kayakers. We're looking for stand-up paddleboarders who can paddle alongside the swimmers and actually stay relatively close to the swimmers. We also have a few boats that every year do cover. Our own Bundoran lifeboat will be out. So we've a good range of cover for the swimmers. I personally prefer the kayakers and the suppers because they can just get so close and they can actually just tip along and have a conversation with the swimmers as they're going. In terms of organising the swim, you'll see it on the day. Everyone starts at the same time on Tullen Strand, or more or less the same time, but obviously with the different swimming levels, we have some people who've got in 40 minutes and some people who've got in 2 hours. So, the swimmers stretch out in a big long line from Tullen Strand. So that means our safety cover has to stretch out in a big long line. But one of the ways we organise the safety cover, and we do a briefing on the morning for it, is that the kayakers and the suppers do all the heavy lifting as such, and the boats are only really used if someone actually needs a lift into shore.
Okay, so plenty of safety on the day as well. So walk me through what somebody can expect. First of all, they need to register.
Yes, so preferably go online to the bundoranbayswim.com is the website. Preferably go on, register in advance. That allows us to plan and organise, but also we have an upper limit of how many swimmers we can take. And at the moment that's 100 swimmers. I think we'd 90 in 2022. So please register in advance on bundoranbayswim.com. And then on the day, we set up early at the pier. So registration is at the end point, if you like, at the pier. But there's a great atmosphere at the pier because we have the market, we have food stalls, and we have some community events down at the pier. So that's all happening all morning. So from, I think, 11 o'clock, you can come down and register. It's for safety reasons, we obviously have to know how many people are entering the water, and we have to count them in and count them out. So registration is very important. If you, for example, just turned up on Tullen Strand and said, I want to join in, the answer would be no because we have to have the right number of swimmers.
Okay, so you check in then at the pier, then you make your way to Tullen Strand. Probably a good idea then if you have somebody with you to bring your belongings or that kind of thing as well, to organise all that for yourself.
Yeah, and the community centre committee there in previous years, we actually put on a person whose sole purpose was to bring gear back from Tullen Strand to the pier to kind of facilitate the swimmers.
Sure.
But actually, it doesn't really get used. It seems most people have their own plan. But look, we can do that for you. We will have people once the swim starts. We will have people going back to the pier. So if you need your gear bag as such brought back, no problem at all.
Brilliant. So a nice community family day at the pier, and as I say, it's all the native Bundoran Community Centre.
It is, and Danielle and Teresa and the committee there in the community centre really appreciate every year the money that's raised through the Bundoran Bay Swim, but they also have a focus on making it a community day. So they want the people to come down. If you're not swimming, come down. It's a bit of crack on the pier watching everyone come in. It's not a race, but it is a race every year. And there's a bit of bragging rights. There's a few local people claiming the title the last few years. Was it McCluskey? Didn't he? One of them got it. I'll let your listeners correct me on that too. There, to we see. So it's a bit of fun on the pier. Definitely from about 12 o'clock onwards, the market will be going and we'll have food stalls and it'll be good crack.
Great. So remind us of the dates and times and registration again.
Yeah, so 30th of July, starting at 2:30 p.m.
It's a Sunday?
It's a Sunday this year, yeah. So 30th of July, starting at 2:30 p.m. Obviously starts on Tullen Strand, but registration will start at the pier at 11 o'clock. Registration closes at 1:30. So you have from 11 to 1:30 to come down and register. Then we assume an hour to get up to Tullen Strand, get to the start line and get organised. We have a goodie bag for everyone, which includes a mobile phone waterproof pouch and, of course, the swim hat, the bright yellow swim hat. So if you come down and register as early as you can and then make your way to Tullen Strand. Swim starts, most people between an hour and 15 minutes later, they will be in. On that particular day, high tide is just after 4:30. On the 30th of July. We're starting to swim at 2:30, so unfortunately that means the swim is about as long as it can be.
Yeah.
The swim would be shorter if it was at low tide, but unfortunately we prefer it at high tide just for reasons around Tullen Strand and surf conditions and the like.
Just to pick you up on something you said there, and it's great to see that there's the bright yellow hat that's part of the goodie bag for each participant. But that aside, if you're out swimming, you should have a bright yellow hat or a bright colour hat on you for safety reasons anyway. Yeah,
if you're going swimming and see brightly coloured hat, if you're doing any kind of distance, especially in the summer, I would bring a tow float. They're a bit of a pain to tow behind you, but I would bring a tow float. And another piece of advice, and it's the simplest thing, but it could save your life, is a whistle.
Right.
So a lot of good tow floats now have an inbuilt whistle in it. But if you don't have a whistle or you're not bringing a tow float, you can just put 30 cents will buy you one of those orange whistles, tie it to your swimsuit, your shorts, whatever, forget about it. Once you've tied it on, don't take it on and off, and hopefully you'll never need to use it. But if you do get into difficulty, you have what we call a means to call for help.
Very good. BundoranBaySwim.com, and Killian, no doubt we'll chat to you before the event. So thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you, Shane.
The Bundoran Weekly.
Thanks, Killian. Details in the show notes for the website for the Bundoran Bay Swim. Let's now head to Bundoran Community Centre, and there, standing by for us, is Teresa.
Thanks, Shane. We have hot desks available in our Co-work Plus space. We have daily, weekly and monthly rates. If you would like to tour or to book in, call 071 98 29675 or email info@coworkplusbundoran.ie. The Bundoran Poets Writing Group is here in the Community Centre every Monday night at 7:30. If you would like an evening of making poems and chatting about poetry, then why not join? The Bundoran Baby and Toddler Group are taking a break for the month of March. The group will be back on Wednesday the 5th of April at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is a new day, time and setup. There will be tea and coffee and biscuits, and there is a €5 donation. Irish dance classes are in the Rogie Suite every Friday. All boys and girls aged 3 and up are welcome. Please contact Lauren Kelly on 086 124 2015. Do you know we have a museum in the centre? The Bundoran Community Museum is open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The museum is free, but donations are greatly appreciated. In here you can find history of surfing, railway, show bands, culture and heritage.
Teresa, thank you. We will talk to you again next week. That is going to do it for our Bundoran Weekly podcast. Thanks indeed for joining us. As always, don't forget you can follow us wherever you're listening now, or indeed stream and download all episodes on demand at bundoranweekly.com. You can contact us at podcast@bundoranweekly.com and find us on Facebook and Twitter at Bundoran Weekly. If you are taking part in the Bundoran 10 either tonight or tomorrow, the very best of luck. Hope you do a good time, and that you'll be happy with your efforts at the end of it. And we'd like to say thank you and welcome to everybody who's going to be joining us in town for this weekend. So that is going to do it. We will talk to you again next Friday for another Bundoran Weekly. Have a good one. Good luck.
The Bundoran Weekly is a production of Discover Bundoran.
The Bundoran Weekly is brought to you by AIB, supporting local businesses in Bundoran. For more, see aib.ie.